Alright, hello everybody, my name is ABK and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, in today's video, I am bringing to you all the second part of our Brawl Stars Brawler tier list video, right? So a few days ago, I made the Trophy Road tier list for all of the Trophy Road Brawlers and I ranked all of them in certain tiers which were S, A, B, C and D. If you all haven't checked out the first part of the tier list, I would recommend you all to do so because as soon as this intro ends, you will see everything that's happened. So if you want to take a look at why I have put each brawler in each tier, check that video out. I'll leave the link to it in the description down below. If you all do enjoy this video and if you want to watch more of my videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe as it really does help out a lot in pushing the video out to newer viewers and help our community grow. And if you do want to watch more of my videos, make sure to hit the bell button as well so that you will be notified whenever I upload so that you can watch my videos as soon as possible. And if you want to unsubscribe later or anything like that, you can do so. It's all right. It doesn't cost you anything. It's completely free. So why not do it and help a boy out? All right. Let's get into the tier list then. I won't take more of your time. Enjoy the video. Alright, moving on to the rare brawlers, we start off with El Primo. El Primo is one of the bad brawlers in the meta. El Primo can't really be used in many game modes. He can only be really used in a few siege maps and in a few hot zone maps. But even in those maps, there are better brawlers than El Primo. The thing with El Primo is he has no range and it is very difficult for him to even get close to his opponents. So for those reasons, I have to put El Primo in the D tier. El Primo just cannot be used in high level gameplay. Next up, we have Barley. Now, Barley is decent in the meta right now, I will say. Barley can be used in siege maps, in hot zone maps, in a few heist maps if you want to, and those three are pretty much it. I will say his best game mode is definitely Siege though. I would say his best map is Nuts and Bolts. That would probably be his best one. So if you want to use Barley, mainly use him in Siege. I would use him with extra Noxious right now, just so that he can counter BB a bit better because BB is his hardest counter right now. And you see a lot of BB in the meta as well. I would go with extra Noxious. Barley, pretty decent brawler, but does need a few buffs to actually make his place in the meta right now. So I'll put Barley in the C tier. Next up, we have Poco. Now, Poco is, well, um, again, it's a very awkward position for Poco here. The thing with Poco is he's used best with the Poco double tank comp, which used to be pretty hard to counter, right? But now, since the arrival of Byron, Poco has sort of been pushed lower in the ranks because Byron is just a better Poco. Byron can stack heal, and one of Byron's attacks can heal a brawler by a much larger amount than what Poco's can. And also, Poco Super can only deal 800 damage with Screeching Solo, while Byron's can deal like 2000. I don't know the exact amount, but it's around that. So Byron is just a better Poco right now. I have to put Poco in the C tier just because Byron does everything that Poco can, but so much better. Actually, no wait. I'll put Poco in low B tier. I'll put Poco in low B tier. Okay. Next up, we have Rosa. Now, Rosa has become much better with the arrival of her second gadget, Unfriendly Bushes. If you don't know what Unfriendly Bushes does, it deals 100 damage to everyone who is in a grass patch on the map, and it will deal 100 damage and it will slow them down for about 3 seconds. That helps Rosa get closer to her opponents and deal massive damage so that they can't run away from you, right? So Rosa, I would say Rosa is only meta when you have her second gadget, and probably with her first or second star power they don't really matter. I prefer the first star power. Rosa can be used in a lot of hot zone maps with her first gadget, not with her second one, just to build grass around the zone, especially in the one zone maps. And you won't really see her anywhere else. You will see her in the grassy brawl ball maps. That's Elite. I will put Rosa in C tier though for those reasons, because she can only be used with a certain gadget, and that too she's only viable in a few maps, and because she is a tank, she has no range, she can be countered. Actually, no. I'm putting Rosa in the B tier. My bad. I'm putting Rosa in the B tier. Now, moving on to the super rares, we start off with Rico. Now, Rico is decent in the meta right now. Obviously, he can deal a lot of damage at once. His super is very good. Obviously, if you can kill an entire team with it, it is very satisfying, right? I'll tell you that much. Now, Rico isn't used in most maps. He is usually only used in Heist with Hot Potato and in maps with a lot of walls. Because if you look at all of the sharpshooters overall, there are just better sharpshooters than Rico right now. Rico has fallen off a lot in the meta, and he really needs a few buffs, maybe like a damage buff or a health buff. He needs something to bring him back into the meta as one of the best sharpshooters in the game, because you won't really see that much of Rico in high level gameplay anymore. You will usually see Amber, Colt, Jesse, brawlers like that. So I have to put Rico in the C tier. Next up, we move on to Daryl. Now, Daryl, well, he can't really be used much again, okay? This meta is not used and is not good for any tanks, right? Because there are a lot of sharpshooters and long range brawlers who are dominating the meta right now. Now, Daryl does recharge his super without having to attack anyone, which can be useful, right? It can help you out in a few scenarios, but overall, you can only really use Daryl in Heist as a damage dealer, or in a few siege maps which have a lot of walls in them. You won't use them in Gem Grab. You won't use them in Brawl Ball. So yeah, that's really it. You can't use Daryl much anywhere. I'm going to have to put Daryl in the C tier. Next up, we have Penny. Now, Penny is a brawler who, again, just hasn't really been one of the best sharpshooters in the meta. Now, Penny's super can be destructive in Siege and in Heist. Okay, keep that in mind. It's also good in Hot Zone. But if you realistically think about it, without Penny's turret, if you just look at Penny, she just gets destroyed by some of the stronger sharpshooters in the game. There's nothing Penny can do for that. I feel Penny just needs a damage buff overall. Now obviously if you can stack your damage against enemies who are like right in front of each other, that is obviously really good. But other than that, you can only use Penny in a few heist maps, and that too doesn't really work out that well if they have a wall breaker. But her best game mode would definitely be Siege. I'm going to have to put Penny in the C tier as well. She just needs a few buffs to bring her back into the meta. Next up, we have Carl. Now, Carl, I actually feel a bit bad about. Carl used to be one of my favorite brawlers earlier, like in the past 2 to 3 months. But then, as soon as Carl got his nerf, everything just went downhill from there. Carl could never reach the same attack range of other sharpshooters, so he just gets destroyed right now. Now Carl does have his flying hook gadget to bring himself closer to enemies, but you only have 3 uses with that, and it has absolutely ruined Carl right now. Carl is one of the worst brawlers in the meta right now, I would say. If Carl can get his attack range back to normal, he will definitely be a much better brawler. I'm going to have to put Carl in the D tier, and I actually feel sad saying that because Carl is one of my favorite brawlers. Alright, now moving on to the final super rare, we have Jackie. Alright, now I mean, how many times I have to say this? Tanks are not viable in this meta, right? Jackie can be used in a lot of closed maps. She can be used in a few siege maps like Nuts and Bolts, for example. You can use her there. You can use her in a few hard zone maps if you want to. Yeah, so Jackie again just doesn't have the range to beat the better brawlers in the meta right now. Jackie needs, I guess, um, a health buff, because if you think about it, her damage is pretty good, and with Hardy Hardat she already has like 10k health, so that is a lot. Okay, so for those reasons I'm going to have to put Jackie in the C tier.